never lovelier day than the start of chapter 10, but we are at chapter 10, and to read chapter 10 to you is Mr. Grant, an art teacher. Enjoy.
Chapter 10, A 3-Night Wait. Drips of Portsmouth rain ran down the walls of Eastleigh Battery. The small group of resistance was unusually silent. Geezer troops were at the door. Hertha and Berry were ushered into a corner and covered up by old rags and sheets. Hertha strained to hear what was being said. "The study of fools," said an officer in the distance. "Of poetry. Hail Geezer the mighty," replied Vincent Tudor. "Hail Geezer," replied the officer, who then walked away. Hertha unravelled the blanket covering them. "What was that?" she asked. "It is not safe here," said Vincent. "I have brought you a little time, that's all. There are patrols everywhere looking for you. We must leave." He handed Hertha the tub of dazzled fur paint to reapply, which she quickly did, handing it back to Vincent, who bunged it into an old rucksack, along with some bread, fruit and a drop of berry juice in a flask. He placed the rucksack onto Hertha's neck and gave a similar one to Berry. He gave them each a cap to wear. "I will take you as far as the castle," he said. "We don't want to go back there," replied Berry, organising himself. "Not that castle," said Vincent. "Then where?" said Hertha. "Come, quick," said Vincent, ignoring the question. Hertha and Berry started walking towards the entrance. "No, this way," said Vincent, as he directed them to the other side of the battery. Some of his crew helped move a pile of tables and chairs to reveal a grating on the floor. He lifted it up and jumped down. "Jump," he called up from the darkness. "Reminds me of the shed," commented Berry, as he lowered himself carefully down the hole. Agatha and her gang waited for the cover of darkness to travel to the back barn in full view of the farmhouse. She struggled with the keys at first, trying to see which one would fit the lock. The villagers lined up patiently behind her with their wheelbarrows and baskets, waiting for her to open the barn doors. "Go, go," she whispered. The operation was swift, and the villagers busied themselves collecting straw, fruits and nuts and ferrying it all away. As the last hedgehog left and scurried back to the village, Agatha picked up the last remaining strands of straw and headed for the door herself. She was met with a giant of a badger, Farmer Jack, lit by the moonlight, standing in the doorway, pointing his shotgun directly at Agatha's face. She dropped the remaining strands of straw and raised her paws in the air to surrender. "I would like to know what it is you think you're doing here," asked Farmer Jack, pleased he had cornered the pesky intruder. Agatha didn't know how to respond. She shook her head with panic. It's for the effort." She fully expected to be shot dead, but was grabbed by the neck and lifted into the air. She was getting mightily tired of being grabbed by the scruff, though acknowledged it was better than being shot. He spun around and threw her onto the gravel path just outside the barn. She was on her back, crawling away on her elbows, when Farmer Jack, who was following her, still menacing her with her gun. With the gun. It's to end the war," she replied, still trying to explain. "Scrumping," replied Jack. "Trespassing and stealing. You have exactly 3 seconds to get off my land." "I know, but wait, please." 1, 2, 3. Agatha rolled out of the way as the gun went off, so the shot missed its target. Farmer Jack fired again, and she rolled the other way. As she saw him reloading, she took the opportunity to scramble to her feet and saw the villagers running towards her. "Whoa there, Master Jack," shouted Morag. "Morag?" he shouted back. "Aye, Master Jack, she means no harm, sir." "We've got ourselves a thief, Morag," he replied, pointing the gun directly at Agatha. "No, sir, she's an honest thief, Master Jack." "I trusted you, Morag," he shouted as another shot rang out. "You can trust me, Master Jack. She's a thief. I mean to rescue Lady Ellen," declared Agatha, with her paws still in the air and her back up against the wall. "You should nae have mentioned her name, lassie," whispered Morag. Farmer Jack's response was not the one Agatha was hoping for. Her name enraged him more. You mention her name to me? He shouted. I'm sorry I mentioned her, said Agatha, conscious of a panicky squeak in her voice. Please, please, it's to liberate the camp. Why do you mention her name? He shouted again. She's been captured. She's in the camp, the geezer camp. She tried to explain. Farmer Jack was unsure. Morag, is this true? He asked. Aye, Master Jack, she replied, walking closer to Agatha, who was cowering against the wall, waiting for the final shot that she knew was still in the gun. Morag grabbed her arm and helped her up as Farmer Jack lowered his gun slightly. Ellen? His voice softened as he questioned what he was hearing. Aye, sir, she repeated. He thought for a moment and raised his gun once more. No, you're lying. She's a badger, not a red. No, Master Jack, she's a heart of gold, sir. You know it to be true, replied Morag. He lowered his gun once more. My Ellen? He asked again. Your Ellen, sir. Your Ellen, interrupted Agatha, still slightly out of breath from being shot at. My papa, my good friends, all our friends. They all lie in the camp. She stepped closer to Farmer Jack. Help us to help them, Farmer Jack.